Okay, so today is Monday in the US and Tuesday for us here in Manila. And every Monday in the US and Tuesday here in Manila, we have our doctor's training call. Okay, so for today, we'll have Doctor Arle Imperio, who would be discussing how to use ImuRegen, Glucan, and Fulvic, our ideal body weight. Okay. Now, for those of you who does not know yet, Dr. Arle practices family medicine. He has had his masteral units in public health. He also practices preventive medicine and also traditional Chinese medicine. Here in the Philippines, he's a member of the Kapisanan ng mga Broadcaster ng Pilipinas. That's the National Broadcasters Association here in the Philippines. Now, together with doctors Doc Mario and Dr. Susan Barlin, they are all members of the Institute of Functional Medicine. Guys, let's all welcome Dr. Arle Imperio.
Good evening, America. Good morning, Asia, and especially here in Manila, Philippines. So I am excited to share with you what I know, what I have learned when I had my master's in public health on how we can attain our ideal body weight. And this is an introductory lecture, a private training. And I'm so excited to share with you because the weight loss market is a very huge market. In fact, it has established a billion-dollar company. And until now, obesity is a major problem. And I'm sure we can learn today how we can use forever healthy products like ImuRegen, Glucan, and Fulvic on how it can contribute in attaining one's ideal body weight. So this will be a short lecture, but it will be a weighty one because I will go direct to the point to give us the idea on how we can attain our ideal body weight. So for compliance purposes, we first have the disclaimer that the following presentation is for private viewing and training. It should not be presented for public and commercial use. It is designed for private training. And furthermore, there is no attempt to diagnose, treat, or cure. If we have any medical condition, always consult our physician. Health statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. And there is no intention of copyright infringement on the images used. They are used to illustrate and educate and not for commercial use or gain. We give credit to the owner of these images. So I go direct to the point by putting the main title, How to Achieve Our Ideal Body Weight. So how the ideal body weight would look like in ancient Greece. So this is the ideal male figure and the ideal female figure. So during that time, they don't have any camera. They usually would paint the images and or make them from stone. So they have in mind what is an ideal figure. So for those who are overweight and for those who are obese, there is hope because I will give you the science on how to attain it. Okay, so here is a very important slide because it will give us the main idea. We should know the difference between the ideal body weight, overweight, and obesity. So the first step is for us to know our ideal body weight. And if you can copy the link above on the right side, there is a simple way on how to calculate your ideal body weight. You go to that site, and I will ask Francis in a little while to do so. You just put in your gender, male or female. Let's say there are other factors, and then they will compute immediately. But you can see the chart on the lower right. You just look at the height you have, and you will now have an idea how much weight you should have. Now, overweight is about 10% more your ideal body weight. It's still okay, but you are now gaining weight. And underweight is 10% less of the ideal body weight. And what we're particularly concerned is obesity. Obesity is when you are 20% or more of your ideal body weight. Because being overweight may be fine for the moment, but obesity is a disease and it is related to many health problems. So our goal is from obesity, be overweight, and then finally achieve our ideal body weight. So it's easy, my dear friends. But when I had my master's in public health to do the computation, and but now because of technology, you can just go to any software, and immediately you can have an idea on what weight should we really have that is conducive to health and longevity. Okay, so when you go to that site, it will ask about your let's say gender, and then you just simply fill that up, and you will see your ideal body weight. So Francis, can you check your ideal body weight? Can we illustrate on or calculate your so there it is, right? The spectrum of weight. And then, so you now know, Francis, without going to complex computation, what is your ideal body weight? So we should all move towards our ideal body weight. So everybody, if you can get that link, you can do it anytime, just to give an idea on uh, how we should weigh in terms of health. So it's relatively easy, right, my dear friends? And I'm so happy that it can be done in that manner. But scientifically, it's complex. Okay, so the most important point is to realize that obesity is a disease and it can lead to medical problems. And when one is obese, it's very obvious. That's why in terms of marketing, it's very easy to identify who our prospects are. It's easy to know who we would like to help because the visual is obvious. That's why if you master this, let's say, ideal body weight topic, I will teach you how to share ImuRegen and how it can help in attaining one's ideal body weight. Next slide, please, Francis. Okay, so the general causes of obesity. First, obviously, there is lack of activity. And then we started gaining weight as the years go by. And there might be some problems in our endocrine system. So one of the steps is to, if you are obese, is to consult an endocrinologist. And then Dr. Oclarit, in one of his lectures, emphasized the role of genetics. And through epigenetics, we can modify the expression. So there is hope, right? By adding the epigenetic, let's say, conditions. So there is hereditary predisposition. Obesity is inheritable, and it runs in the family. And of course, the unhealthy food, because what you eat will be converted to energy, and if you don't use the energy, it will be stored in the body as fat. That is the simple equation. Okay, so the ideal body weight and the BMI or body mass index. It's very obvious. Just look at the figure. Say moving towards the right, you have now being underweight. You have the normal weight, and then you have overweight, and then eventually obesity, which is 20% beyond the ideal body weight. That's why it's very important a while ago to emphasize that you know what is your ideal body weight. And then you just simply compute how many percentages you are over your ideal body weight. Obesity starts at 20%. And then as it keeps on increasing, there is first degree obesity, second, third degree obesity, right? Now, we have an Infinitus health screening device in the office here in Manila, and also in Cebu, and probably also in Las Vegas. When you do the Infinitus testing, it also reads the BMI. You just have to learn where to find it. That's why it's easy. So we can have a health screening program to the community to specifically know where we are as far as the BMI is red, right? And then obesity is a global epidemic. When you look at the left figure, try to find out where is the, let's say, ideal body weight, right? So, and then as we keep on increasing our BMI, it leads to overweight, obesity, severely obese, morbidly obese, and super obese. So can you see the figures below? It seems to correlate with the waistline, right? Okay, so this is how to measure the waistline. So, okay, so this is a very important, let's say, figure. When one is overweight or obese, it can lead to a lot of medical problems. So this is one great motivation that you and I should attain our ideal body weight. And I remember the lecture of Dr. Oclarit and Dr. Maria on intermittent fasting. And since then, I was applying intermittent fasting and I lose weight very fast. And I found it very easy to eat, let's say, 2 meals a day. In fact, I was achieving 1 meal a day. When you're taking ImuRegen, especially the Immune Plus, that's why I will be using it in a little while on how we can attain our ideal body weight. So the first step, if you are obese, is to seek medical help. And then, of course, the next obvious step would be a program on how to attain your ideal body weight. Why? Because the motivation is that it is connected to a lot of serious medical condition. Like if you look at the left figure, diabetes, like hypertension, okay, liver problem, gallbladder problem, heart problem, circulatory, and then it will affect the joints because of the weight bearing. You get it? There are lots of problems. And then on the right side, it just simply showed the symptoms of, let's say, being obese that will lead to specific problems. So just get the point that obesity is a disease. Do not take it for granted. You know the direction. It will lead to many health problems. But good news, we can do something about it. And that's the purpose of our lecture today. Next slide, please. So you can see there are a lot of problems in the image on the right. But what is being pointed out here on the left figure is that majority of adult Americans are either overweight or obese. That's why it's a huge market, because it's very obvious, and at the same time, everybody, including the person himself, that he has a problem. But oftentimes they do not succeed in losing weight and attaining the ideal body weight. But don't worry, the lecture today will give you the secret on how to attain your ideal body weight. Okay, so this is the secret. Because when you go into a weight loss program, like in the Philippines, that's about 10 years ago when I inquired on, let's say, slimming programs, they would charge about 20,000 pesos for the program. But they're applying this secret. But if you know the secret, then actually it will motivate you to successfully attain it, because you know the secret. The secret is this. We know that we have excess, let's say, fat in the body. And the goal is to burn that fat. The first step is to know how much calories we have to take every day. So we call that the total energy requirement. That is being computed. It is not easy in the computation. It's laborious. But the simple step is to get in touch with a dietitian. A dietitian is one who finished Bachelor of Science in Nutrition and who would specialize on dietetics. So let that person, or let that professional, let's say, individual do all the computations for you. But what I would like you to understand is that when we eat food every day, we add calories into our body. And we usually eat more than what we should eat. Oh, that's why we now gain weight and eventually we are obese. Okay? So the secret is let our dietitian make for us a meal plan where we would be eating the food we want to eat. If you like to eat chocolates, ice cream, and others, it can be done. But you have to follow the meal plan. And the main idea is to eat 500 calories less in a day, whatever is your total energy requirement. And usually the total energy requirement is ranging between 2,000 calories per day, 2,500, and those who really eat a lot, up to 3,000 calories per day. So the first step is to know what is required of us. And then we eat 500 calories less. Because 500 calories less than what we should take is in principle manageable. But you have to have discipline and you have to have a strong motivation, but it is manageable. But I would like to inform you, it would be more easy if you will add forever healthy products. And then the science of the 500 calorie reduction is that for every 2,500 calories lost or burned per week is equivalent to 1 pound. I will repeat, 2,500 calories is equivalent to 1 pound. Therefore, if you eat 500 calories less than what you should be taking, 500 calories times 7 days is 2,500 calories, right? Or more than 2,500 calories. So it is possible to lose 1 pound per week. So when you now know your ideal body weight, let's say for illustration, your ideal body weight is 120 pounds. And your weight now is, let's say, overweight at 130 pounds. So you have 10, let's say, pounds more, right? So if you would like to burn that excess weight, that will take 10 weeks, right? Or 2 months. So you give yourself 3 months. The main effect of this is that it avoids us from getting involved in a rapid weight loss program. And we would like to lose weight as much as possible. And we usually fail, and it might even be unhealthy. But the safe way to lose weight is eat less at 500 calories per day. Now, in the metric system, we are now using kilogram, but the pound is more easily visually easily understood. So when you have computed everything in pound, just take note that for every 1 kilogram is equivalent to 2.2 pounds. Okay, but don't worry. What I would like you to understand now is you now know the secret, right? You have to eat less and you have to exercise more. Now notice in this particular point, there is no exercise involved. It's simply eating less food, right? But if you will add, let's say, aerobic exercise, Zumba, walking, bicycling, swimming at 30 minutes every day, 2 times a day, you can add another pound. So it's very possible that you can lose 2 pounds per week. You get it? So that is how they will compute it. And they will give you the idea, and then they will let you join their, let's say, slimming program. And they will give you all the other additional steps. But the main idea is to eat less and to burn more fat. And they have a program, and you will pay for it. But in my case, if you know how to compute everything, me, I know it, but I find it less exciting. That's why I didn't focus on teaching you how to compute. But the simplest and most important step is simply get in touch with a dietitian and give the dietitian a list of foods that you would like to eat every day for, let's say, 1 month. And the dietitian will say, okay, and then he or she will compute the calories that you would be taking a day, and then she would usually compute it at 1,500 calories. If your total energy requirement is about 2,000 calories, she will compute it at 1.5 and simply have the discipline to follow the meal plan and you know that you are taking less 500 calories a day, and in due time, you will attain your ideal body weight. How long? It depends on the excess weight. That's why I said it's 1 pound per week. So if you are overweight for 50, let's say 50 pounds, then that's 50 weeks. So you divide 50 weeks by 4 weeks per month, then you have idea on how long it would take for you to attain your ideal body weight. It can be attained, but usually those who are severely obese, it may take a year, at least a year. But my point is, it can be done because it's science-based. But if the person didn't get the right idea that it will take a year because he is obese, and then he is hoping that he will attain it in 30 days, he's not in the right direction, and he will only end up frustrated, discouraged, and then eventually will end up eat as much as he can or he can. Okay, you got the idea, my dear friends? Okay, we can now go fast from this because that's the main idea. Okay, so notice this is how it's computed. Step 1, step 2, step 3, just to show to you, it's not easy. Actually, it's simple and easy, but it's laborious. Look, all of those figures, you have to compute that with your calculator. But don't worry, by getting in touch with your dietitian, the dietitian will do the exact steps. Okay, you get it? First, step 1, find your basic metabolic rate or BMR. Determine your activity level because your calorie that is needed depends on what is your work. If your lifestyle is sedentary, so notice there are some computations. You need less calories compared to one who is working as a farmer in the field or a fisherman in the sea in Asia, right? Or a construction worker. He obviously needs more calories than to a sedentary activity life. And then eventually, the BMR times the activity level, that's step 3, and then we will now be able to find the calorie intake. Then from the calories that your goal is focused upon, then we now make a meal plan. And then we add, let's say, activity like aerobics exercise, then that's now the program. And you pay so much for that, but it's worth it. But my simple advice is simply get a dietitian, right? Even a student dietitian. Last night, I was talking to Matthew, one of the clients of Wancho, and we had, let's say, a medical consultation. And I learned from the person that his daughter is a dietitian studying at FEU. And so that, let's say, Wancho can be, let's say, tapped, even though the student is still studying, but he already knows what we have discussed so far. So probably if you would like to save money, give some, let's say, honorarium or allowance to that person to help you in your weight, let's say, management program. Next slide, please, Francis. Okay, so here is the challenge. When we eat less than what we used to eat, because we ate less, we would like to eat more, and that's what we call food craving. The food craving may creep in, and eventually we destroyed our program. And then there is the feeling of body weakness. Why? Because we ate less. When we ate less, we feel a little weak or hungry. The tendency is we might try to postpone and eat more, and eventually ate a lot, and there's no more weight loss program activity. And obviously, another important point is we will feel weak. That's why if you don't have the will, the decision, you ended up eating more than what you did before. But there is a solution on each step. The solution is you add forever healthy products in the program that will deal with the food craving. And then the feeling of body weakness, the solution is you add forever healthy products in the program. And we know what are the forever healthy products. So at this point, I would just like to see if you have some question, because I will now be discussing how the different forever healthy products can contribute to reduce the food craving and to reduce the feeling of weakness. In short, you will not look for food, and you will feel strong. Oh, that's the secret. So at this point, I will be focusing on each Forever Healthy products. The first step is to take Immune Plus. In my experience, I discovered that if I take one effervescent tablet first thing in the morning, immediately when I wake up. So I haven't yet could even stand from bed. That's why before I sleep at night, I have the, let's say, glass of water or one pitcher of water. And I have the a glass and the Immune Plus beside me. So that when I wake up in the morning, I simply put one effervescent tablet to one glass of water and then I drink it. So the solution is take one effervescent tablet first thing. The idea is first thing. I found that if you take it later, let's say after breakfast, it seems not to work effectively as I had. But when you do it first thing in the morning, it seems to signal the body to gear up, to have more energy. So it should be immediately when you wake up in the morning. And then you may take another one at mid-afternoon. And if you feel you need more, depending on your feeling of weakness, another one, let's say before dinner. So it's 1 to 3 effervescent tablets a day. And if you will look at the ingredients of ImuRegen, it's 0 calories. That's why it will not add, let's say, calorie or weight to you. It feels sweet, but there is 0 calories. That's why it can be used for people who are controlling their sugar level, because it's 0 calorie. Only the flavor is quite more sweet. And then this will give you energy. In fact, in Europe, in cycling events, cyclists would take a lot of the Immune Plus because one of the effect is energy. And then, so there is less food and fewer calories, more movement, exercise, and this can lead to food craving, as we mentioned, and body weakness. And this is the weakest point because this is the particular point where the person may give up or may not continue because, as I mentioned, it may take several weeks, several months, even a year of consistent, let's say, implementation of the program to attain one's ideal body weight. But with Immune Plus, you will find it easy. In my experience, when I started in my weight loss program, I discovered I can take only 1 meal a day. So when I take my Immune Plus first thing in the morning, and then usually as a frontliner, I'm active into work. I would miss my breakfast. I would even miss my lunch, and I would take my first meal at about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So I was actually practicing intermittent fasting, but I don't feel weak. I don't feel hungry with that one effervescent tablet. That is my personal experience. Probably yours may be different, but this is the main idea. So the first Forever Healthy product that one would take should be the Immune Plus. It should be first thing in the morning. That's my protocol. And then you add the ImuRegen capsule, 1 capsule before meals, 3 times a day. Okay? Because when we start losing weight, the weak and old cells of our body will die. And we need support to support the DNA, to support the body, to help regenerate and create new cells. So that's the logic why we add the ImuRegen capsule. And then it's possible that when we eat less food and we feel weak, our immune system may go down. And since there are a lot of health challenges currently, then we have to add ImuRegen Glucan. This is the only ImuRegen with glucan in the world. And this is the only glucan with ImuRegen in the world. Because glucan is already established. There are a lot of research on the role of glucan. If the source of glucan is mushroom and ours comes from oyster mushroom, it is very potent as an immunomodulator to enhance our immune system. And Dr. Mario has given a good lecture on glucan. All you need to do is to go to your backup office, to humandnawellness.com, and you can see his presentation over there. If you would like to learn more details on the role of glucan in our body. So the ImuRegen formula also supports immunity, but it also supports homeostasis or regeneration. So when you combine ImuRegen glucan, it potentiates or enhances the immune function, and glucan will modulate the immune response. And then at the same time, the body's cells will be regenerated. That's why it's a very powerful combination. So you just take one capsule 2 times a day. You can take it one capsule before or after meals in the morning, and one at dinner at night. And then the ImuRegen Liquid. The liquid has the highest amount of ImuRegen. All the Forever Healthy products, which has the logo ImuRegen, it has the same formula. Complex dietary nucleotides, essential amino acids, peptides, oligopeptides, vitamins and minerals, all extracted from bovine tissue. It's the same when you read the logo ImuRegen. The only difference is the dosage. The Immune Plus, which we mentioned as the first Forever Health product to take, is 0.18 milligrams per serving. And then the glucan is 0.3. And then the ImuRegen capsule is 0.5. However, the liquid is 1.5, right? Per serving at 5 ml teaspoon. So you may take 1 teaspoon, let's say before breakfast, after you took your Immune Plus, and then take another teaspoon at bedtime. My bedtime intake is, to me, is very important, because it is when we are asleep that the homeostasis takes place, that the body builds and maintains itself when we are asleep. Remember, when God created Eve, he put Adam into sleep. And then when Adam woke up, he has a Maria beside him. That's Eve, right? I was thinking about Dennis. Okay, so let the liquid stay under the tongue before you swallow, because when the liquid is under the tongue area, if you put up your tongue looking at the mirror, you will see large blood vessels. The ingredients of ImuRegen will immediately, in seconds, circulate in the body. It will go to the circulation, and the blood will enter the cell, and immediately it will support the cell, especially the nucleus. Then it goes into the chromosome, the nucleus, and eventually to the DNA. You get it? In seconds. That's why the liquid is so important. You and I should have it all the time. I had that personal experience with the liquid. So I did intermittent fasting, right? I was losing weight. And then to achieve my YouTube, let's say, as a YouTuber, because now if you check my YouTube channel, I'm already monetized. I have 2,500 subscribers. I have more than 4,000 watch hours, right? I achieve what is required. And I got it with the support of many group friends all over the world. And what happened is that I was no longer sleeping. We have different preparations of the ImuRegen because it has many uses. The Immune Plus is more of energy. The capsule is more of regeneration. The glucan is more of immunity. The ImuRegen liquid will give you everything, only it's faster, it's higher in dose, and you can take it immediately by just simply letting it stay under the tongue. So that's my personal experience, right? That's why I would see to it that I always have my liquid with me. This is the only Forever Healthy product that does not contain the logo. So obviously it does not have the nucleotides. But why did we add this? For the simple reason that the Fulvic liquid has 72 trace minerals. And with one of our lectures with Dr. Mario, we showed the documentation laboratory-wise, the presence of the 72 trace minerals. In fact, I was laughing when Dr. Mario said he counted the minerals from 1 to 72. And the purpose of these minerals is to enhance the membrane potential of the membrane of every cell. That means the electrical flow. the communication of the cells with one another will be more efficient. And at the same time, the fulvic acid molecule, when it enters the cell, can carry other molecules with it. And if you combine this with Forever Healthy products, the molecule, let's say, nucleotide, the peptides, the amino acids, the fulvic liquid will help bring them inside the cell because the molecule of fulvic can carry about 10 times more its molecular weight. And therefore, the good ingredients that we have taken can easily enter the cell up to the nucleus of the cell. And then when the fulvic acid gets out of the cell, it will carry itself the debris, the waste products of the cell. So it acts as a detoxifier. In fact, it can even act as a chelating agent. You get it? That's why combine the fulvic every time you take any Forever Healthy product. So how do you take it? You take 1 ml 3 to 5 times a day with water. You can use the medicine dropper and put it under your tongue, or you can just put the drops of fulvic liquid into the glass of water. But be sure it's 1 ml. When you press the medicine dropper, it only fills up about 1/3. But you have to fill up everything to get the 1 ml amount. So it's about 3 times. So that's 1 ml, and then do that 3 to 5 times a day. So there's a question on can all of this, especially fulvic, be given to children? Well, generally speaking, when we talk about, let's say, requirements, we don't give, let's say, even food supplements which the adults would take to children 7 years and below. But if you have any questions, simply consult your doctor, your pediatrician. To me, it can be done because these are just nutrients that are needed by the body. And usually food supplements, especially functional foods, are generally safe. But sometimes we have to be conservative because it's sometimes on a case-to-case basis. Thank you, my dear friends, for the chance to serve you. Have a more healthy life this 2022. I'm sure many of you had this as their New Year's resolution. So you now know what to do. Number 1, achieve your ideal body weight or move towards that direction this year. And then add a healthy lifestyle, which is being emphasized functional medicine. And then add the Forever Healthy way to be more healthy 2022. Thank you and God bless.
Wow, that was great. I would like to ask Dr. Oklerit and Dr. Mario to respond to that, but it's my understanding that obesity leads to many problems, many health conditions, including what they say and have said, people with issues are more prone to get diabetes and other issues. So I would like to hear a comment from Dr. Oklerit and then also from Dr. Mario if they have something they could share with us.
As regards to the lecture of Dr. Imperio, one of the nutritional functional food is the eat less sugar coming from rice, because the sugar from rice is so high in glycemic index, so that it was found out in study that sugar in rice is a very good, a perfect sugar for the food for the cancer cells. So one of the things that what we should take note is eat less carbohydrate coming from rice. You can eat some carbohydrates from root crops because they are very rich in fiber. And the carbohydrate on those root crops are so chemically bound to the fiber, so much so that it is not converted into blood sugar. So more fibers in the diet, less conversion of the carbohydrate polysaccharide into blood sugar. And it was found out also in the study that increased amount of sugar also decreases the longevity. But with increased amount of sugar will actually decrease the longevity, meaning with more sugar, you're likely to die earlier than usual. So eat less sugar from rice, you will have longer lives, and your telomerase activity will be activated, and therefore longer lifespan. Thank you.
Dr. Mario?
Thank you, Dr. Arle. That was quite an eye-opener, a lot of information there. And I agree with Dr. Oclarit. A lot of my patients, and particularly those, if you see those patients, I have had a lot of patients who are vegetarians, strictly vegetarians. When I check on them and they report to me, all their cholesterol levels are very high, despite the fact that they're just eating vegetables. And I said to them, okay, what do you eat your vegetables with? Oh, I eat a lot of rice. So when we started avoiding and cutting out the rice and strictly using vegetables and vegetable meat, their blood sugar or the blood cholesterol levels went very almost down to normal. So I agree with Dr. Oclarit in his saying that rice is the culprit for a lot of the problems, the medical problems that we have right now. And if I may allowed to share, I will tell you the secret of getting well, living longer and getting well. The secret for living well and longer, you eat half of the food that you're eating, you walk double, you lap triple, and love without measure and drink ImuRegen every day. That's the secret. So I hope you guys...
Well, that is a great saying, the secret. Oh, I like that.
Thank you, Dr. Mario. It's well said.
Thank you again, Dr. Arle.
Well, thank you for the wonderful presentation. I'm glad that we had a lot of people online and many new people online. So many people, and I just want to thank you for all being part of this.